Good afternoon. My name is Mike Cowie-Freeman, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all today to the first NPCC Digital Policing Awards. My role today, in effect, is to be your MC for these inaugural awards. Now, as I'm sure many of you know, there are many forces are now embracing and working with digital, yet there is no national recognition or award scheme. So we worked with the NPCC EDAT team to change this. As such, we now have the first NPCC EDAT Digital Policing Awards. These are specifically focused on how UK police forces and organisations are using digital-based technologies to make a difference. We agreed that eight awards would cover all of the areas, and they are as follows: cybersecurity, innovation, productivity and BFM, accessibility, frontline impact, excellence in service, excellence in leadership, and the unsung digital hero. The award judges have come from across the policing family, and you will see that through the judges as we meet them today. Now, in terms of the event format, we will have the judges, or stand-ins where the judges couldn't attend, who will summarise each of the shortlisted finalists and announce the winner. More details can be found on the NPCC DDAT Awards page hosted on the PDS website. Now, we are bringing this to you via Microsoft Teams, and there is an opportunity for you to contribute any comments, congratulatory comments to our nominations and our winners. So please use the QA function that is there for you. I would now like to hand over to Rob Carden, Chief Constable of Cumbria Constabulary and the Chair for Digital, Data and Technology Coordination Committee.
Thanks for the introduction, Mike, getting us off to a good start, and welcome to everybody, and thanks for joining us. It's not ideal doing it in this way. It'd been great to have done it in person, but obviously because of the circumstances, we've had to do it in a particular way. It is really important that the reward and recognition goes out this year in such a very, very important area. Digital data technology is a lifeblood for policing, basically. It's actually key in terms of our ability to enhance public safety, provide value for money, and improve public confidence. So I don't admire the criminal fraternity, but I respect their ability to innovate and be creative. We've got to keep pace with that. We've got to match it, and that's where we've got to recognise the fantastic work that's going on across the country. So thank you so much for joining us. We've had about 110 nominations from 20 police forces, which is very impressive. There's a real breadth and depth to those submissions. And before we get going, I just want to thank my fellow judges from across policing. We've got Tony Eastoe from PDS, the Chief Executive. We've got Andy Gould from the City of London Police, Mike Latanzio from TVP, Hants and the Isle of Wight, and also the Chair of the National Technology Board. We've got Thomas Keir from APCC and Georgie Morgan from techUK. I'm going to hand back to Mike. Thank you.
I'd now like to welcome the CEO of the Police Digital Service, Tony Eastoe, who will detail how we judge the awards.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Rob, for the welcome. So before we start to announce the winners, I just want to explain to you how we came to the conclusions that we did. So each of the categories had nominations. They were assessed across a whole series of different areas, and they were marked accordingly. They were judged solely on the quality of the submission and the information that the judges got to see that was submitted by the sponsors. The shortlists are between 2 and 4 finalists for each one, and each of those shortlists is really just some of the most impressive things that certainly I've read, and I know some of my colleagues as well. So now on to the shortlist and the winners. So the first category is cybersecurity. This was judged by Andrew Gold of the City of London Police. But unfortunately, Andrew can't be with us today. But I am pleased to announce that Tony Blake of QPM, Chief of Staff to the National Police Chiefs Council around DDAT, is here to do so. So, Tony, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Tony. And firstly, just like to say to all the people who are nominated and are on the call today, particularly well done. I read many of the nominations in my role as basically the day-to-day coordinator of the committee, and I was really impressed with the kind of range of things that people are doing, their inventiveness and their dedication to what is the critical enabling service for policing, its technology and its use of data. So the first of the two categories I have the pleasure of announcing is that of cybersecurity. This was particularly relevant to Andrew, who came up with a shortlist of 3, and a winner. So, firstly, Cheshire. So the force has completely air-gapped its infrastructure and its services with a cyber vault to help mitigate the potential impact of any ransomware attack the force may be subjected to. They also implemented canary devices across their network, acting as honeypots on the network, with the aim of enticing any potential threat actors to them. Secondly, Thames Valley Police. The force set up a joint forces cyber response plan, detailing the roles and responsibilities to manage cyber attacks. They delivered training to all frontline officers and staff, tested the effectiveness of the plan via desktop and simulation, implemented governance and assurance, ensuring response plans are maintained and updated based on risks identified through the Cyber Threat and Response Board. And finally, we have Merseyside Police, who as a force have, like many others, considerable cybersecurity challenges around retaining and acquiring expertise. So they adopted a new strategy around cyber based on a realistic assessment of the challenges they faced. They learned from one of the biggest and most high-profile events to have impacted the forces for many decades. They recognised that multiple teams with common skills and expertise, but different responsibilities, and those operated in isolation, work repeated across various teams. So they did host the Eurovision Song Contest 2023 and used the Defenders One approach, which brought team skills and expertise together under clear leadership. This built a stronger dynamic relationship through better communication and intelligence sharing. And since the event, the collaborations continue to flourish to prevent cyber attacks on Merseyside Police. So overall, great initiatives in this area, but to Andrew, it was the Merseyside submission that he felt was the one that most deserved to be the overall winner. So many congratulations to Merseyside. We'll arrange with the nominated Joe Peters, their head of ICT, to present the award to the team. I'd like to move now on to the second category Andrew judged, that of excellence in leadership. This category recognises the quality of initiatives being delivered, or the performance of key teams and individuals in the broad area of digitally enabled policing. First up, Cumbria Police and their roll out of the Law Enforcement Data Service. This will replace P&C and give a much enhanced capability at the heart of protecting the public. The switch from the longest running, most reliable, sustainable policing system, P&C, to a new web-based platform across policing is massively significant. The force has got limited resources, but a small team led by Chief Superintendent Cole Patrick and Martin Brammer, and they've enabled Cumbria to be the top performing force over the past year across the UK in a key search area. In terms of overall lead transaction data for property, drivers, vehicles and audit, Cumbria, a small force, completed over 20% of the national searches, far higher than many large forces. Next, we move on to Warwickshire Police, this time a local initiative led by Nick Clark. So the force embarked on an ambitious transformation programme over 2 years, Empower Technology. They wanted to leverage the benefits from their new ICT platform and introduce new capabilities to underpin a performance step change. In 23-24, they saw 49 projects completed successfully, representing £8 million of investment and many millions of pounds of benefits. The programme means the force is now in a leading position with Origin HR, Axon, National LEDs, Power Apps, Power BI and many other areas with a lot of technical debt removed. And the final shortlist place went to the Metropolitan Police with another exemplary rollout of a national initiative, this time the NPCC's Digital Public Contact Programme. Tony Joseph, Programme Director, shows great enthusiasm, commitment and integrity, always striving to do the right thing for his colleagues in policing and the public in his approach. He's a grasp of all the complex programme elements, he's focused on the quality of delivery, he ensures the programme is connected to other areas of national work and is seen to be a solution provider and a problem solver. He brings people together, removes barriers to solve problems, encourages bold thinking and is brave in his decision making and has never been afraid to step up and take charge when required. These are the shortlisted nominations, and I'm pleased to announce the award winners this year are Warwickshire Police for their Empower Technology initiative. We'll arrange to present the award to Nick Clark, Director of Data, Strategy and Technology. So just to conclude, I'll just end by saying it's great to see such a range of initiatives around what are really important things such as cybersecurity and leadership in the world of digital capabilities, really improving the service and making policing more effective and keeping the public safe. So I'll now hand back to Mike.
Thank you very much, Tony. Two really good winners there from a strong field of nominations. The next category is focused on perhaps the most visible area of the public scene of the police, and that's on the front line. As such, we created a Frontline Impact Award to recognise the work forces are doing in this area. I would now like to hand over to Rob Carden, who judged this key award.
Thanks, Mike. Much appreciated. So Frontline Impact is obviously, well, it goes out saying, a critical area to policing, particularly in times when where there's austerity, obviously these challenges, we have to question any investment in terms of what impact it's going to have on the front line. So in terms of this critical area of policing, delighted not only the number of nominations that came, but also the sheer range of initiatives across the 19 nominations, some real depth there. The first of the short list is Bedfordshire Police. And we've actually taken this in my own force. It's an excellent development. And that's the auto redaction process. So critical that sensitive information is protected whilst maintaining transparency and public trust. Redacting such information prior to it going public is absolutely critical. Now, the force faced challenges with the volume and complexity of the documents in varied formats. Bedfordshire also faced challenges of human error, resource constraints and technical limitations of existing tools. Now, after examining all the options, the force introduced a significantly improved and a more cost-effective solution, detailing the many benefits gained. As I say, an excellent piece of kit that is. Also shortlisted were the UK's second largest force, Police Scotland, whose core operational solutions programme, COST programme, established an integrated records management system. This has enabled national processes supporting crime, case, warrants, productions, direct measures, road traffic accidents, missing persons and federated search. The implementation involved migrating data from 44 non-compliant legacy applications. This was a transformative leap in both technology and the ability to apply national processes, enhancing efficiency, effectiveness and responsiveness of service to the public. Next, we go to my own force, from one of the biggest to one of the smallest, but perfectly formed. They recognised that the response to global digitalisation of crime can no longer rest with SMEs and specialist staff. Instead, there is a need to mainstream digital skills across the whole force. So working with the 5 Northwest Forces and Police Digital Service, they ensured that the strategic vision of ACC Johnny Blackwell was delivered, and that's about bite-sized learning that's more agile and keeps pace and is more geared to supporting officers on the front line. It's a good development. Finally, we've got Humberside Police with their victim journey and My Police portal. And 1 in 5 calls into the force control rooms are from the public asking for updates on incidents or crimes. For Humberside Police, this equates to around 54,000 calls per year. Now, Humberside recognise the need to do better for the people they serve, be more responsive, yet also more proactive. They've delivered on this with 2 solutions that work hand in hand to deliver efficiencies and improve public confidence, and that's Victim Journey and My Police Portal. The Victim Journey is an automated set of messages sent to victims of crime at specific points in the crime report life cycle, and that's to keep them informed of case progress. The second one, My Police Portal, allows members of the public to self-serve contact their MIC and receive case updates as the crime investigation progresses. Both keep people better informed and enable the forces to operate more efficiently. The decision was very tough, and I'm very pleased, therefore, to commend Bedfordshire, Police Scotland and Cumbria for their efforts in securing a final position. But for me, it's Humberside Police who are the worthy winners of this category. Colin Dring, Digital Innovation Manager at the Force, will be presented with the award.
Thank you so much, Rob. We now come on to the category that attracted the most nominations, nearly a quarter of those submitted, showing that as far as UK forces are concerned, innovation is very much at the forefront in UK policing. For the judging on this category, we're indebted to Mike Latanzio, Chief Digital and Information Officer for Thames Valley, Hampshire, and the Isle of Wight Constabulary, who is also the chair of the National Technology Board, for bringing his knowledge and experience, as well as his time, to come up with the finalist and winner. Mike, over to you.
Many thanks, Mike. As said by my previous colleagues, this was a really hard category to judge. I think there were 26 nominations that came forward, and some really excellent examples of just how much innovation is taking place across forces, and has certainly really got us thinking, and colleagues in PDS, about how do we harness some of these in order to make them available in terms of what forces have done to other forces to potentially look at reuse. I think there's some really good examples there. So to come on to the nominations, if we start with Avon and Somerset Police and their custody tracker for solicitors. So the force recognised that the only way solicitors could get custody information was by phone into force custody centres, 101 or officers in case, which represented around 20,000 calls a year. Also, suspects failing to appear at court meant warrants issued by courts placing demand back on police to locate and arrest suspects, requiring yet more resources. A market review concluded that there were no commercially available products to address the issue, so the force built a bespoke solution. Custody Tracker is an online self-service cloud-hosted portal that solicitors, once securely registered, can access all information about the case, request a copy of the custody record, and be automatically notified by email of key changes in custody records, court dates, and so forth. 4,600 solicitors now use the service. Over 20,000 calls have been removed, and 2,700 hours have been saved just through providing a copy of the custody record. And 120,000 less pages have needed to be printed. Okay, moving on to Bedfordshire Police Nectar project. The sheer scale of data needing investigation hugely impacts the ability to progress cases quickly, especially with a need to search across different systems. The force focused on enabling data stored in multiple source systems to be extracted through automation and integrated into front-end user modules. The solution creates efficiencies and compliance in partnership data sharing, increases productivity, and provides officers and staff with notably better information and the context it relates to. The next nomination is for South Wales and Gwent Police in regards to facial recognition. The challenge was to tackle the sweeping misconceptions of facial recognition technology in order to build trust and confidence amongst the communities, demonstrating transparent, ethical use of the technology. And in doing so, to also promote its broader adoption throughout UK policing. Critically, it also has a marked and positive impact on force efficiency. Over £2.9 million have been achieved in efficiency savings in just the introduction of retrospective facial recognition in both forces. And the last nomination is from West Midlands Police for its Andy Ezra Automated 101 project. The force, like many others, have identified challenges with over 60,000 calls per month with an approximate wait time of around 15 minutes. And also, more typically, around half of those calls being abandoned. To improve matters, the force brought in a new virtual recruit, Andy Ezra, a voice assistant to answer 101 non-emergency calls designed in-house using public cloud services technology. Andy Ezra answers the calls and has a conversation with the caller to deal with their inquiries. In a 2-month period, it answered over 17,000 calls, prioritised nearly 800 vulnerable callers and handled 5,500 calls against use cases. Some of the classified vulnerable callers were on topics such as domestic violence, suicide prevention and missing children. West Midlands Police prioritised these calls directly to contact agents and skip the 101 queue for those urgent responses. So I think we'll all agree that there are some absolutely fantastic nominations there. And it, as I said earlier, it has been a really, really tough one to judge. But I can announce that the winner of the Innovation Award goes to Avon and Somerset Police for their custody tracker for solicitors, with a really tangible set of benefits and outcomes that have been achieved. So congratulations to Nick Lilly, the IT director, and the team there in Avon and Somerset. Thank you all for listening to me run through that, and I'd like to hand over to Mike.
Thank you so much, Mike, for that. Now, next, I'm delighted to move on to two areas that have been judged by Georgie Morgan, who is Head of Justice and Emergency Services at techUK. The two areas that we're going to be covering is accessibility, which is critical to the police and the public relationship. And also we're moving on to the first of our Excellence Awards, which is Excellence in Service. So please, Georgie, over to you.
Thanks very much. And also to the team for giving me the opportunity to be involved in these awards. Through my role at techUK, I've been quite privileged to hear firsthand from forces, but also industry directly, some of the fantastic work taking place force to force. So I've thoroughly enjoyed reading every single one of these nominations. So the two categories, yes, I've been assigned are accessibility and excellence in service. So first up, in terms of accessibility, two nominations really stood out to me. First one being Police Service of Northern Ireland, who have developed an innovative app addressing the impact of incredibly stressful and traumatic experiences their colleagues can suffer as a result of the work they do, where psychological related sickness absence makes up a large percentage of sick leave in PSNI. The nomination discusses the ME or Me app, which enables officers and staff to better understand their own mental well-being, providing information on how to access support if needed. It works on a range of devices, force or private, and helps users assess and track their mental well-being, with scores provided after each assessment to indicate the severity of potential symptoms. The app also allows users to review the results of previous evaluations so that trends may be identified in each area. The results so far, more than 2,260 screeners have been completed. So the force is continuing to develop the content of the app to make it helpful to PSNI staff and officers as possible. A very worthy, fantastic initiative that really kind of recognises and helps staff to deal with sort of some of the stress of police work. This one really did stand out to me. Second was West Yorkshire Police for really putting inclusiveness at the heart of what they do. Most conversations I have working for a trade association, a tech trade association, we continuously talk about digital innovation. And with this can sometimes assume everyone can just get involved and understand instantly. But actually, this does need to be a bit more kind of thought out. So the forces work to ensure that the tools and services they have are all accessible to all. Lots and lots of work has gone into looking at how requirements need to be addressed by suppliers and the implications for this on colleagues who need more support and perhaps different tools to get the best out of their digital workplace. Richard Jones, one of the digital policing business analysts at West Yorkshire Police, is a passionate champion of accessibility rights. Richard has worked to identify gaps in the force's organisational processes and with this developed a method of supporting those with digital accessibility and neurodiverse needs. His approach, which has been shared nationally, which is fantastic, has resulted in significant savings for the force and valuable support for staff members. I think we can all agree that accessible digital systems should be in place for all members of the policing community in each and every policing organisation. And initiatives like this really do help to close the gap of where forces need to be and provide valuable support to staff. as well as avoiding costs running into the millions. It also ensures those with disabilities at all levels can still access and use the tools they need to do the job. So I'm really pleased to announce the winner as West Yorkshire Police for their digital accessibility initiative. I think a lot of learning can be taken from this, and as such, I'm very pleased to name Emma Ahan, Head of Digital Innovation, as the successful nominator, and we'll arrange to present the award to her and her team. So congratulations, Emma, and all involved. Next up is the Excellence in Service category. This category recognises the quality of initiatives being delivered in the broad area of digitally enabled policing. Again, 2 nominations really stood out for me. The first was Warwickshire Police. So they've taken an iterative approach to rolling out self-service business intelligence dashboards, making improvements in data warehousing, modelling and reporting. The team really showcased how they embrace the mantra, no matter how complex the topic, that the reports need to be intuitive and accessible to busy operational officers and staff who make critical decisions based on the data and insights provided. They produced over 30 dashboards, giving over 50,000 views and are already reaching 30% of the Warwickshire Police workforce. Supervisors are using the reports generated on a daily basis to drive performance improvements in their areas, and the force has improved detection rates by 8% in the last year. Having this live time data has been crucial. So a really fantastic initiative. The second is the Met Police for their work on applied geospatial data science, and led by one person, Ian Agar. The only geospatial data scientist in the Met Police, he is constantly developing cutting edge techniques and tirelessly refining his methods, combining geographically targeted intervention with data science. His work aligns closely with the business, clearly articulating the complexities of his work in simple, clear language that gets immediate buy-in. It has made a huge impact to the way the MPS approach the analysis of high-risk areas, particularly in the support of violence against women and girls. He has combined his in-depth understanding of risk terrain modelling and geospatial data science, which has led to the identification of the highest risk areas of VORG. It is also worth noting that another of Ian's high impact projects was a geospatial data science work for the MPS tackling of weapon crime. Combining multiple techniques, he was able to create an innovative product for the identification of the most harmful weapon-enabled crime location. And his innovative maps are also being used across London to inform and enable tailored intervention for the direct benefit of local communities. So yeah, both very, very worthy, but for the uniqueness of the work and the positive effect it's having in major policing focus areas, the winner is the Met Police for their applied geospatial data science. And we'll arrange directly with Christina, the geospatial lead analyst, to present the award to the worthy recipient. From me, and as I mentioned at the start, I've thoroughly enjoyed reading every single nomination submitted for these categories, and it's clearly evident the innovative projects being driven by so many forces. The breadth of areas that forces are exploring with a digital mindset is brilliant to see and really showcases the vital role technology can play for people when it's embedded at the heart of policing at all levels. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Georgie. And I'd just like to remind all of you that are watching today that all the shortlisted nominations and the winners will be detailed in more depth at the NPCC DDAT Awards section, which is available on the PPS website. We now move on to the productivity and VFM category, a critical area for forces and one where digital technologies are already delivering notable results. Now, unfortunately, our judge from the APCC, Thomas Kira, could not make today. So I'm delighted to once again welcome back my colleague Tony Blaker to announce the shortlist and the winners.
Thanks, Mike. So for the productivity and value for money category, we had very strong nominations, and we specifically looked for real measurable benefits clearly defined and realised. So we'll start off with Bedfordshire Police. They developed a more efficient automated redaction process suitable for all of policing to use. It leverages artificial intelligence to support people, but is not designed to remove humans from the process. The project has set a benchmark for how automated solutions can significantly improve operational efficiency and compliance and policing. So the force is on track to realise an annual reduction of over 9,500 hours in time spent redacting case file material. And I know that service is being used by many forces now nationally. The next to make up the shortlist is West Yorkshire Police. They set up a solution to remotely and digitally send out and sign statements online using an external system. The ability to send files to the public to download, read and sign for the content allows significant reductions in officer time and fuel and vehicle costs. It's a great time saving, costed out in excess of £1 million. And finally, we have Greater Manchester Police. The force took a long, hard look at its digital and IT estate and took a big, bold decision to create a whole system change to reduce costs, improve productivity and deliver value for money. The team took a force from an organisation that felt everything in IT was broken to one now that has reduced IT costs and significantly improved productivity and the service. It now delivers massively increased value for money and meets expectations of staff, officers and citizens. Just some key stats from the submission. Open IT help desk tickets reduced from 24,000 to just 1,500. Average help desk ticket resolution time from 7 days to 7 hours. High vulnerabilities in our IT health check reduced from 850 to just 23. So tremendous work. And in the last 12 months, the team have identified 10.1 million in savings on cost avoidance, enabling this to be reinvested into frontline IT services. So it was a tough choice for Thomas, but the winner is Greater Manchester Police for the breadth of what they did. We'll liaise with Luke Barnett, Head of IT Programmes, to deliver the award to the force. And now back to Mike to lead into the final award.
Thank you, Tony. And yes, we now come to the last award. And it's one we feel is appropriate to close with. And it shows that even in organisations, whether you have 100,000 in the workforce or just a tenth of that, one individual can still make a difference. So we close with our Unsung Digital Hero Award. And I'll hand back over to our Chief Executive Officer, Tony Newstow, to announce this. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, colleagues. This is a real pleasure to judge this award, and I just want to replay, I think, 4 of the nominations that really stood out. So the first up was Jen Hutchinson, who is the Mobile Development Manager for Surrey and Sussex Police. So this is a nomination that recognises not only the dedication, innovation and leadership, but also shows that someone is able to move seamlessly between different focuses and different roles in the service, where Jen was once a senior detective and is now leading a civilian role within those forces. So Jen was able to leverage her deep understanding of frontline policing to drive advancements in mobile policing capabilities across Surrey and Sussex. Her initiatives made those forces who use mobile policing some of the most mature and effective in the UK. She introduced several innovative functions, including MISPER and dispersal alerts. And these revolutionised how officers respond in these particular areas, improving our efficiency, effectiveness in safeguarding those vulnerable people. In addition, her collaborative approach with 2 other forces, Thames Valley and Hampshire, is fostering a unified approach to mobile policing, and it benefits the whole wider and broader law enforcement community and the public. The next up is Pip Keys from Bedfordshire Police. So Pip's job title is Deputy Programme Director of the Continuous Improvement. But if you ask anybody there, she is known as the 365 guru. Of her own initiative, Pip has gone above and beyond the day-to-day work by exploring innovative ways to improve quality, efficiency and value. Amongst other things, Pip worked on a priority-based budgeting solution, and she was able to create a suite of data collection, analysis and presentation tools using Microsoft 365 to make it happen. By reaching out to colleagues, she made herself available every Friday for her Friday 365 clinic, and as a result, Pip has increased the M365 confidence of so many people across those force areas in order to use and benefit from the technology that is available. The final two presentations are both from PSNI, Northern Ireland. And I just want to say that given the sensitive nature of the roles, we are going to anonymise these names in all of the media. So after careful evaluation of all the nominations, the decision was that there was so little difference in the dedication of expert and the support given by two of these individuals, we would like to make them joint winners of the Unsung Digital Hero Award. So we will work with the respective nominators to ensure these awards are given. That draws me to be able to say thank you. Thank you to my team in PDS for everything that they've done around setting up this teleconference. Thank you to Rob and to Tony Blaker. Thank you to everyone who's been involved and to all of the 110 nominations from across the forces. All of those winners will have their certificates and awards sent out to them, and we'll be in touch to tell you how this will be done. All of the details around the shortlisted nominations will be coming off in detail on our PDS website over the next few days. And we will work with many of the forces to ensure that those nominations, where there is interest, we're able to share that best practice. But on behalf of PDS and my team here, thank you very much. And I'd just like to hand over to Rob for the final closing comments.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you to everyone for joining us. Really appreciate it. To the judges for every single submission. Thanks also and congratulations to the winners and the nominees. All of those fantastic pieces of work are all going to have an impact on public safety. It's not the way we'd have chosen to do this, obviously, but the event we were planning had been cancelled. However, we'll do it in person next year. But the important thing is that reward and recognition in this very, very important area starts. It's part of the journey to operationalise and make that link importance of data and technology, across the country. Part of my job is to ensure that our collective actions match our collective words. And hopefully you'll have seen today from the breadth and the variety of submissions that digital data and technology can and is at the heart of health and forces and their people to drive forward a better, more capable and efficient UK police service. Extremely glad to be able to champion this. Thank you for listening.